Hello everyone, I'm here back very quickly after my Tommy piece, but this piece is about, well, this piece is actually more for men, because men are quickly labelled or stereotyped, you know, seedy, creepy, weirdo, especially if they live alone and they might have a few mental health issues or problems, and they might, you know, smell and whatnot. So this piece, you know, it's about perception, because a lot of people's attitudes create a lot of boundaries and borders, preventing people to communicate with one another. And it happens in a lot of communities actually in society. I mean, perception has dated back. I've read this poem before, but I'm only going to read a little line out of it. It's The Town's Witch. And I'll just read this sentence or two. So one day, when a neighbour's cow had died, and someone's infant sickened, good men shut the crone in prison, dragged her to court and tried, then hung her for a witch and burnt her hut. So through history, people who maybe come across a bit more estranged, they're always accused of, it's like the changeling, it's always the changeling's fault. You know, a baby cries and some people think, oh, they're crying because we're happy, in a happy mood, and vice versa. But it's not the case. There are obviously problems that the adults have. So perception is everywhere. And just because a man lives on his own, it doesn't mean he's going to be creepy or weird and stuff like that. But anyway, I've even had voices stating, why does no one have sympathy for him if he is unwell? That is a very good question. And I've had a voice obviously in my head. That's because you're an evil bastard. You know, I've had voices like that as well, which is very cruel, really, to be honest with you. They're the ones with the problem at the end of the day. But anyway, this is called Seedy, Single, Middle-Aged Man. And it's for those men who struggle, but they need help instead of always being judged, you know. I am a creep. I am a weirdo. The one that used to live alone. Odour creatures attached from a musty flat. Spawn black, grey fur. The wolf coat growing on the damp walls. Murky spotted mildew, and deserted dust-covered light grey cobwebs blowing lonely in the air. Just a freak, seedy in my lack of growth. From the curtains pulled over, sun only exposes to taunt me out from where I lay, wanting to stay under the soil of raw umber, to hide in a forbidden slumber. I love my stereotype of low self-earth, yet the treasure of its worth, with infatuation of every sweet-smelling air of a walking breeze passing in a flash. Yet to hold in the photocelled, sensitive tissue of my mind, like a warm evening of honeysuckle drift, where I am sucking the fragrant air. This is my depraved love, in streams of hero fantasy, graphic in my perverted mind, where I dream of you laying beside me, oh creepy man with passion, where I know the feminine fashion, and blue is this year's colour, where I have planned our fanatical meeting, and I tell you, it is heroic. The orchid's praise of a beautiful place. The colour is right, a pink haze that leads the way, with two large petal hips. The playful anther cap, and the directing runway of the labellum lip, where my surroundings vanished, lifted out and placed as a person who I wanted to be. You know, in society, that's the poem finished, by the way. In society, there's a lot of teaching about think big and dream big and all this here stuff. But most of the time, we can't actually be who we want to be. We're almost trapped in a certain idea that other people perceive us as to be. And that's how self-fulfilling prophecies come about, with obviously voices and then noise that creates pain. And then it changes the person to what they weren't originally. But it is a sad piece, but it happens time and time in our society again and again, where just because you're well dressed and you might have a love heart and it says love on the front, it's a perception. People look at that and they think, oh yeah, that person must be good. But it shows you how deceptive things can be. But anyway, I've waffled on too much. I'll only get tongue-tied and twisted. But thanks for listening. But if you see somebody who's you know is a bit different, or you know you can see they're struggling mentally ill, be friendly for a change instead of being too quick to judge. Trust me. Anyway, thanks. Right, bye.